We have brand new major updates surrounding this Miami Heat organization, suggesting a blockbuster trade that involves another player outside of Giannis Antetokounmpo. I'm here to break down all of the newest information from Mark Stein, one of the top insiders covering the game of basketball, and what he thinks could be the most likely trade going forward involving this Miami Heat organization and another familiar foe out west in the Golden State Warriors. We'll break down all of that on this episode of Heat Digest, but first, please do remember this video is brought to you by Kalshi. If you scroll down to the description and use the code in the description, use code DIGESTNBA when signing up for Kalshi, and you will get $20 back after you trade your first 100. You can trade on game lines, player props, and anything else in between if it's a real-life event, from sports to elections to even the weather. It is live and ready to go in all 50 states. And again, tonight, Miami plays the Utah Jazz out west. It's a big game because it's a game Miami should absolutely win. If you check it out on Kalshi right now, the Heat are 69% or getting 69% of the chance to win this game. Not the greatest odds. If you want to go check out the player props, they are listed down below on this same page. Again, use the link down below to find it. And if you don't want to trade on things like game scenarios and game lines, they have the total wins for this Miami Heat team this season, which continues to go down as they continue to lose close games and games they should absolutely win. And with this trade that we're going to discuss in this video, or possibly the Giannis Antetokounmpo trade coming in the soon future, it might be a great idea to jump on Kalshi, use code DIGESTNBA when signing up to get $20 back for your after you trade your first 100, because bearing one of those big moves, it seems like this win total is going to go up exponentially. So now let's get to it and break down the new Jonathan Kuminga speculation. As Jonathan Kuminga and this Miami Heat team have been in connections before in the past, dating back to just last season. But things didn't work out the way everyone hoped. And what do I mean by that? Well, Jimmy Butler forced his way out of Miami, and in doing so, he wanted to land in Phoenix. Obviously, there was a lot going on. Kevin Durant was kind of available. Everyone wanted Kevin Durant. Jimmy Butler wanted out of Miami. Jonathan Kuminga was wanting to get out of Golden State. There was a lot of big moving pieces last season, during the season. And despite that, the Miami Heat still traded Jimmy Butler and failed to get really anything substantial in return. They wanted Kevin Durant. It didn't happen. They then ended up sending him to Golden State, and they still didn't get Jonathan Kuminga in return. So what is going on? And Kuminga was referenced and attached to this Heat team in the past, dating back farther than just last year's Jimmy Butler saga. So let's get to it. Mark Stein had a very, very busy night last night, and his Twitter shows it. He goes on to say, is this the first one? Yes, this is the first one. So he tweets initially, the Warriors have ruled out Jonathan Kuminga for the rest of tonight's game in Dallas due to left knee soreness. He then subtweets that with, Kuminga was having quite a night before the injury, 10 points in 9 minutes on flawless shooting. The Warriors league sources say we're in the midst of expanding his role in the wake of Jimmy Butler's season-ending knee tear, while also continuing to explore Kuminga trades. If you guys don't know what's going on with Jonathan Kuminga and the Golden State Warriors, however long it's been going on, it feels like it's been going on for at least 2 full seasons now, going back to last season and what has been of this season up to this point. Jonathan Kuminga and this Golden State Warriors front office, especially the coaching staff, do not see eye to eye for one reason or another. And you even hear a lot of ex-professional players, whether it's, and this is not who said it, but in the same type of, in the sense they're on podcast like a Jeff Teague or a Draymond Green or whoever it may be, are out there and they're having these conversations as it just appears to be personal. And it feels like there's actually something not really connected between these two parties behind closed doors. And there's something that took place. And because of that, they are not sitting on the same page, and they haven't been for a very long time. Now, what has that resulted in? Well, Kuminga is a hell of a ball player, and despite that, he doesn't play. And now, with the team as currently constructed in Golden State, a lot of people question, why is he not playing? Like, he is extremely talented. He has all of the abilities in the world. He is 6'7", 6'8", with the ability to score from all three phases of the basketball floor on the offensive end, while also being a decent ball handler. He's not the greatest facilitator, but again, with the amount of scoring potential he has, that also comes hand in hand and will unlock itself as he demands so much defensive attention. He has the ability to rebound because of his size, his length, and his athleticism, and defensively, he's not a liability. So why would he not be playing on a Golden State Warriors team that has simply been underwhelming up to this point in the year and has been looking for some type of spark plug? Why would they go out there and trade for someone like Jimmy Butler if you could argue that Jonathan Kuminga is a better piece going forward, in the sense that you're trying to win not only now, but in the foreseeable future, when Steph Curry ends up riding out into the sunset and retiring, as he's getting closer and closer to that point in his career. It's just a very interesting and not so pretty, it seems like, situation and relationship going on between these two parties. So Mark Stein, like I mentioned, had a very busy night, not only on Twitter, but we referenced the first two tweets, and then he subtweets it again. MRI tomorrow for Kuminga. Steve Kerr confirms that the injury affected both the left knee and the ankle. I'm going to show you the video now of Jonathan Kuminga suffering this injury last night against the Dallas Mavericks.
1,013.
Kuminga going up off of his right foot. It seems like in the moment that he was really pushing off of his right foot, whether he made contact with the defender there in the fast break and he stepped on his foot, kind of rolled his ankle in the moment, I'm not entirely sure because of the angle in which we just watched. But you can clearly tell before he even gets to the climax of his jump and attempts to finish that layup or dunk, he is in pain. And he ends up coming down. He's able to walk to the closest bench, which was obviously the stands. And he sat down next to a few fans, including one little girl who probably will never forget that moment. Now, immediately following those tweets, you got an article from Mark Stein, who was very much in the area for this game. And again, this goes on to break down what happened last night with Jonathan Kuminga and that ankle injury / knee injury. How well has he been playing? Why hasn't he been playing? And really, what's going on going forward? League sources tell the Stein line that one avenue which will certainly be explored is the prospect of a Kuminga for Andrew Wiggins swap with Miami that potentially brings Wiggins back to the Bay Area after he was shipped to South Beach last February for Butler. Not a bad idea for Miami. It really and truly is not. Andrew Wiggins is a great player, and he has been phenomenal for this Heat team up to this point in the year. But is he someone that is going to be able to get the job done for this Heat team once the playoffs arrive? Or is he just going to end up being a piece of trade bait for a Giannis Antetokounmpo blockbuster move this trade deadline or next offseason? If you're just going to move Wiggins in a big trade package, why not move him 1-for-1 for a younger version of himself? We're doing the opposite that the Warriors did last season. They went out and traded Jimmy Butler they went out and traded for Jimmy Butler. They gave up Andrew Wiggins, but they already had the younger replacement there. They went out and got an older guy who was getting closer to the end of his career rather than giving the keys to someone who is younger with the lack of experience. Yes, I understand, but you're playing under guys who are very accomplished and very winning. You'd Steph Curry, Draymond Green, and others, Steve Kerr being the head coach. It was a very interesting piece for the Warriors to go in that direction. But again, this will be tagged down below. There is a paywall. Have to remind you so you don't click on it and say, Houston, what the hell? You tagged something I can't even read. I let you know beforehand. So Jonathan Kuminga, the biggest thing and the thing we're going to wrap up with, 1 year left on his deal. It is a club option outside of the year we're currently in, where he's making $22.5 million. Next year he'll make $24.3 if the club option is picked up and accepted, which is a big piece of this because it's basically a 1.5-year rental for Jonathan Kuminga. But then the last thing I would really like to point out is the last 5 games played. You may be saying, oh, he's playing a lot. He's played his last. No, that's not what happened. If you look at the dates on the far left, this month. Before that, he didn't play since December 18th, December 6th, December 4th. And if you look before that, he does not play in Golden State. Okay, Jonathan Kuminga is a walking 18 to 24 points per game, without a doubt. If he plays 10 minutes, he can give you 15. That is not a joke. Last night, he was shooting flawlessly. At 10 points in 9 minutes, he hadn't missed a shot. He has a lot of ability, and if the Miami Heat are able to go out there and literally steal him away for Andrew Wiggins and possibly getting one additional piece along with Jonathan Kuminga, I think this is a home run of a trade. The Warriors are going to be desperate not only to move Kuminga, but to go out there and acquire someone that can help them right now win and be a booster alongside Steph Curry and others in that organization who is mightily struggling. Let me know down below, what are your overall thoughts and opinions? Would you like Miami to go out there and make this acquisition if it is a 2-for-1 trade, and the one is Andrew Wiggins going to Golden State with Kuminga and possibly one other piece coming to Miami, whether it's draft compensation or another player? And if you would not like to see that, is it because you want to see Miami go all in for Giannis Antetokounmpo either now or in this offseason? Let me know down below, and I will see you guys on the next episode of Heat Digest.